Hello everyone, welcome back to our regular subscribers. Hello to our new subscribers. Everyone, if you remember my stepdad Doug.
Hello.
And today we're going to be showing the Deuce and a Half, Loud and Proud. So Doug had bought this from Pennsylvania?
It actually came out of Washington, D.C. National Guard, and we picked it up in Frederick, Maryland.
Okay, I can remember, because we picked up 3 total.
Yeah,
I can remember.
That was a long day that we went up to Frederick and drove this thing back. I appreciate your help getting it back.
Oh, you're welcome. 45, it was 45 tops, wasn't it?
I shouldn't say this, but I think I was following you, and we were up a little above 60. It'll do it, but the engine doesn't like it, so we didn't do too much of that.
Okay.
We made good time.
Okay.
We got back from picking the truck up in Frederick, Maryland. It was a long, long day. And the truck quit running on me up in Beckley, West Virginia. The problem, we didn't know it until the next day. You helped me troubleshoot. The shut-off cable to shut the diesel engine down had come loose, and it was just swinging in there, so it would give me power, and then suddenly it would just die. I finally babied it home, but what a long, long trip on into the night. It was closer to morning when we finally got it apart and put away. This is an M35A2, known as the Deuce and a Half, built in 1971, and it does have the multi-fuel engine in it, which is basically a diesel with fairly high compression ratio, 22 to 1. It'll burn just about anything. It's got a fuel density compensator to tell it what fuel it's using, so it can adjust if you're using one that burns hotter or quicker than diesel. It'll adjust the throttle automatically and such. Standard transmission, 5-speed with a 2-speed, very manual transfer case. You reach down and pull it up or push it down. Other than that, I've added power steering to it. It's a military surplus air power steering unit because apparently Army drivers have a little more energy to steer than an old guy like myself. So I really enjoy the power steering feature that I added to it. It does have onboard air and air-operated brakes, but they're like your brakes on your car that we all have, except they use vacuum. This uses air pressure instead.
Air over hydraulics?
Yes, and the brake system's good, but it is a single circuit, so I always make sure the parking brake's fine, because any brake line braking or air line, it could leave you without brakes.
Not good. Brakes is always good.
Yeah. I've added several other things, locking door knobs, door handles, and a switch to deactivate all the electricity to it, so that a little bit for security, but more just so the batteries don't run down when it's not being run. And then I put combination locks on most of the other things, toolboxes and such, so that just in case I leave it downtown or something overnight, a little less of an attraction for kids, say, to get into a little mischief. I added the winch. The truck had no winch. It was what's called a without winch truck. And I saw a fellow had everything from here up, plus the PTO and drive shaft, over in Kentucky. So I drove over. He was a real nice guy. And I spent one whole day just breaking bolts loose and getting this thing mounted on this truck. And ever since that, I've used the winch a couple times. It's 10,000 pound rated, but actually I think it'd do a lot more than that. And then over here, one of the things I added that I think is pretty important, particularly again the age factor of the driver, I put a remote brake cylinder so I can just take a look and know that I've got plenty of hydraulic fluid.
Oh, yeah.
And I also added the ether start system instead of the old flame start. and I added spin-on oil filters. So I do things like that along so that it makes it a little easier to maintain for me. And other than that, I guess we're ready to start it up.
Okay.
Now there's a cap on the exhaust pipe. Just leave it there. We'll just have a little fun and send that cap aflying.
Stand back and watch this.
I first have to put the key in to get some power.
All right.
There we go. Now let's see if it'll start up. When it starts up, there's no air in it. Hopefully it starts up. So it'll take a while for the air alert noise to quit and have the truck ready to drive.
Throw it the key in.
Lights. If you drive down the highway without that, there's no brake lights, turn signal, or anything. It's still got the old blackout lights from the military, but I don't really use those. And this is the manual or the old manifold heater switch, but I've converted it to the ether now. It's about 2/3 of the way airing up, so that noise will go off in a minute.
Yeah.
With the, I don't think I mentioned it does have air conditioning. You just push that out and take off, and it's air conditioned. This is not military issue. There goes the air. I got to get a new. Came out one day and this was frozen and I mistakenly tried to turn it, and so I got to get a new knob for that. Now I'm up to 60 pounds of air, but to actually go we need a little more. But you can, you can probably hear the air power steering.
Yeah.
It also has an air locking front axle. The red light comes on, shows that the axle's engaged. And give it a little more gas there. I put a heater in because I just didn't like not having a heater.
Oh yeah. Kind of get cold.
Yeah. Other than that, everything just the way you would expect it to be. Everything works. There are seats in the back. It'll take 12 soldiers with all their gear, or 20 soldiers without any gear. There's flip-down seats in the back. It does have the spare tire right there. I've got a toolbox right here. One other thing I didn't mention, Gary. Trying to avoid the problems of maintenance, I put some holes for blowing off the air tanks.
Get that moisture out.
Before that, the Army's idea is crawl under there and turn the valves by hand.
Heck with that.
It wasn't anything to have these, and that keeps the tanks nice and dry inside so they don't rust out on it.
Yeah.
That brings us up to whatever you want to do next.
All right. He still shifts good.
Crazy about the horn, but it works.
It works.
We'll run down to the church, I guess, and turn around there.
All right.
It's the newest part of the truck, really. But boy, it sure beat that old canvas top of the door. be. I had one for this trailer, but along the way I sold it.
Yeah, we need to check the tires out too, see if it'll fit. So at the house.
Yeah, that's on the to-do list, isn't it?
Yeah.
That little trouble getting her back and forth into its slot there, but we'll get it.
It's a tandem, so.
It likes to wheel hop when it backs up.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it isn't doing it right now, but it usually does. Here we be.
Nice little ride.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good. Everything's running good on the truck, and I think it's ready to be put to bed for the winter because I don't use it much when it's cold outside. I don't do anything when it's cold outside. And I forgot to mention the most important modification I did to it. Cup holder.
Oh yeah, gotta have a cup holder.
Gotta have a cup holder.
Yep. Gotta have a cup holder.
And I also put an interior dome light in, which is, I haven't had an opportunity to use it to speak of because I don't do much at night out here, but it's there.
Yeah. Gotta have a little light. Yeah, you need your little thing, don't you?
Yep. That's it.
That's it.
Unfortunately, I don't look too graceful doing this thing. Let's see Gary up there.
Don't fall.
All the way up.
Give me a cam there, Dad. We thought we'd show you the engine there, folks.
Air compressor, of course, to operate the brakes. Looks like I've got a bit of a leak here at one of the injectors.
Yeah, number 4, ain't it?
Yeah, we'll get on that next year. I'm not in any particular hurry. Oil filters here. There's 3 fuel filters, 2 on the side, and then 1 down under the chassis, the primary. And I've converted it to a spin-on also. The engine actually looks quite good inside.
Oh, yeah.
I think they
Thing's
took
coming
pretty
out.
good care of it. And I've got
Yeah, that's good.
somebody gave me, I can't remember who, a spare air filter, so I'm ready to put it on whenever I need it, and which is good. Those are not inexpensive.
Yeah.
So that's about it. Just try to keep it running and keep it safe.
Yeah. No, a lot better shape than it was when you first got it. But
Well,
it wasn't too bad shape, though.
no, not too bad. I had to do the front, both the front inner seals on the front tires. That was a big job. And I've done some brake work on it and replaced the air pack, it's called. Well, we've got plenty of antifreeze because it's right up at the top, so I won't go any further with that.
This is one of the better trucks you got, wasn't it? Where you
I
done
got the
lip
three.
boost tattoo?
The one was a A3 model with the Caterpillar diesel and Allison automatic transmission. It was a great truck, but a little more truck than I needed. And then the middle truck was what they call a C model, M35A2C. Drop sides for forklift loading and such.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't keep it. Somebody else wanted it, made an offer. So, but this was my first, so it's one I love. I had a old Army Jeep years ago,
Oh, yeah, I remember
and
it.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I wanted to get back into this hobby and get another Jeep, but at the time the Army was selling off all these deuce and a half, so it just seemed like it was easier to do that, and that's what happened.
Okay. Yeah. You repainted it and
Yeah, it was woodland camouflage,
yeah.
and I changed that back to the old 1971 color of when it was first made. And Debbie, if you go around to the front, I put the bumper lettering into my old unit, the 1st Cav Division, 2nd of the 12th Cavalry, and listed it as A Company, which I'd been in. So up here you can still see the blackout lights called the cat eyes, and then it's also got a blackout headlamp. Here's the headlamp. It puts out a little glow. I've actually driven with that before, but it's not the most impressive light you'd ever want to drive by, but it'll work. And I added some armor lights. They're off a tank or something, I don't know. But man, they're high and low beam, and they really do help in case one of these would burn out or something. I keep myself from getting arrested that way. I made up the flag standards to hold the flags in on each side.
Yeah. Have you used the machine gun holder I made you?
Yes, I have.
Oh, have you?
Haven't used it lately because when I put the hard top on, it makes it hard to get to. The only way to use it now, I've got that 30 cal M 1919 A4 machine gun, but you have to take the cover off the back and stand back there. It works, but it's not ideal. So I need to get a cutout and a true machine gun ring and all that stuff and really go into it. But that's for another day or another owner, one of the two.
Yeah, I made that out of just scrap metal I had.
Yeah, it did a good job. But I will tell you, that's where that metal, the noise I heard when I first started it up, I thought it was the engine at first and it scared me, but it's actually when I was slamming this door, I ran into that noise, if you heard it right there. So it's something in this area right here. I just got to figure out what, and we'll get that quieted down, and it won't scare me every time I start the engine and hear unaccounted for noise.
We left that open, didn't we, so water would drain out?
Yes.
Okay, I thought we did. Yeah. Yeah, I remember I'm making that. I just had scrap metal at the house made by. You had the caster wheel up there. It's actually a caster wheel, and took the wheel off. And
It mounts to the 1919 perfectly.
Yeah. So where it will swivel.
And the military, they have this for jumping it should you ever need to jump it.
Yeah. 24 volt.
Watch it be too tight for me today. Yeah. Oh, that thing has locked itself on there. Kerry could probably get it off, but not me. But that matches up with the one on the generator. The only thing, I don't have a cable, which is probably why it's
No, I can't either.
on there pretty tight. So
Yeah.
I'll put that on my list of things to do also. And I guess that's about it. I added the convoy lights just for chuckles.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it complete that way.
Yeah, it's always a convoy of one anyway, if not more.
I've seen some other ones on the road. They use them for everything. Not as good a shape as this one though.
Oh.
There's one up in Beckley actually. He used his to haul stuff with. I think his is a dump bed actually.
Huh.
I think.
I've seen a lot of guys have added dump. There's quite a few plans on the internet. You have to mount the pivot all the way at the back, since the frame goes all the way back. And this bed, since it's built to be mounted directly and not lifted, it's a little weak, so needs a little strengthening for that.
Yeah.
One of the neater things that is going on, I'm a history guy, so I didn't do it, but a lot of the guys cut off all the wheels back here, keep one axle, and then they get the 105 trailer. And they use that bed, cut the frame down, one axle, the springs off the 105 trailer, and they make a four-wheel drive, four-wheel pickup that is totally awesome. I mean, it's this truck, but it's in a pickup's format.
Yeah.
So you're not hauling around all this hardware just to run to town or whatever.
Yeah.
It'd make a great backcountry truck or whatever, but I just never did that. And yeah, I know the tires are dirty. They were dirty when I took it to the church for Veterans Day.
Gives a character.
Gives it character. It's historically accurate.
That's right.
Yeah, I got to get those cleaned, and that won't happen till spring either. So
Yeah. They'll still have, if we ever get any rain and snow, and it'll take a lot of it off.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Looks good.
Well, thank you for coming by, Carrie. I appreciate that. And
You're welcome. And then
had a good time taking it out for a little spin.
I hope it comes out. I don't know if they can hear us or not. 'Cause on that, this first time I used that GoPro. That's the GoPro 5. So this is the first time I actually used it. I played with it some around the house to get the feel of it. But it's the first time I ever used it for out here. So
Well,
So
if my voice doesn't come through, just get a clip of Gunny Sargent and
add
put
it in.
there instead. So as you see my lips move, you'll hear the Gunny going at it. And that'll be just about perfect.
Well, let's see. We could go down and look at the generator.
I've been doing a
Close
little
up.
bit to the generator today.
Maybe.
Nothing real big, but I opened up the fuel tank and I did have some condensation that got on the gas to the fuel tank cap and left just a little coating of rust, and I didn't like that, so I took it inside the cleaner. And that's while I did all that, I took the filler tube with the screen on it out.
Yeah.
And I just stuck this battery charger over top of a piece of foil to keep anything from getting into the tank. I always keep battery chargers on it.
Yeah.
And,
Twinkle chargers.
yeah, I don't think I started it for over a month now. I'm supposed to test it every week. I'm going to have to, I meant to this summer but didn't get to it. In the back, well, they may be the front cylinders, one or two or both, I'm not getting good cold starting. And so it smokes a lot. And that's not ideal.
Skipping them. And,
Yeah, it takes a little while for it to get up and running. When you do get it started, you want to get it on 60 cycles using the throttle. And once you're at 60 cycles, you can power up your house or whatever. Now this one came with 500 and some hours. And we'll try that again.
There you go.
And I went to Lowe's and got these for this roof, keep the water from puddling. That was a big help.
Oh yeah.
And then I added commercial filters so I can check for water in the diesel.
Yeah.
And also filter the diesel fuel a second time. And then I added a commercial spin-on filter so that I didn't have that old Army one that made such a mess when it was being changed. So anyway, we can try to start this up. And the only thing that's lacking is the fuel cap right now, which is in my little shed there. This will run it on auxiliary fuel. I added a 15-gallon tank. And since I cleaned out some of the stuff in the bottom of that one, it's short a gallon or so in the main tank, the day tank, and it'll be pumping it from that other tank into that the whole time I'm running it. But once it fills it, it shuts it off automatically. We'll give it about 20 seconds of preheat. And then, like I say, it's not going to start as smooth and as nice as what it can. So I'm going to have to get in and do a little bit of work on that.
I like the glow plug system better than ether.
Yeah, this does not take ether at all. It would be the same.
Can you go when the fuel tank, the tire goes out?
You should be able to go at least 8 hours
8 hours?
on the day tank alone.
Okay.
And that's running pretty much everything in the house, the heat pump and everything else. I haven't actually had a good test of that. They keep the power running around here pretty good. But I know the first year I was here, I started out with just a half a tank, and in no time I was out siphoning out at the deuce and a half, so it didn't take me long to figure out I need to do a better job at it than that. So.
Yeah.
But it's well built. It runs to, it's 3-phase, 220 or 110, single phase, just whatever you want it to do, it'll do it.
That's nice where it pulls the whole house, heat pumping on.
Oh yeah, every once in a while you'll hear it dog down just a tad, and if I look out here, it'll be close to the 100% rated power.
Yeah.
Under, if I'm running everything, water heater, well, and the heat pump. But most time it's just running pretty low in the power and the engine's kind of loafing, because we don't use that much here.
Yeah.
Anyway, it came dry. They had drained all fluids and gotten rid of all the filters and everything. I had a little time putting it all back together, and I had no idea if it worked or not, but I got very lucky with the generator and the trailer. It was after taxes and bidder premium, all that stuff, it was still under 650. So
Ain't bad.
and I haven't done much to it. I had to get a new phase meter, cycles. That one wasn't working. And other than that, I just did the improvements, the filtration and such, and the rest of it has just been, just let it do its own thing, and it does fine.
I remember when you first told me about up at Pawn Shop. The only thing is, you don't know what kind of shape it's in when you get it. It is
no,
what it is.
it's a crapshoot, because you got to figure if things are bad, you just bought a lot of scrap iron,
Yeah.
and you'll be parting it out and sending it away. But this one's in great shape, and I'm real happy with it. It fired up in no time. It took a while to, get the injector lines full of fluid and that sort of thing.
Get the air out.
Yeah, it took off real nice. I was pretty happy. When you consider all my experiences in buying from those guys, I've been very fortunate. I haven't had anything I was upset with. I wish they'd sell them where you could actually test them and all, but I guess it'd run the prices up and the aggravation for them up. So.
Yeah, and plus they have to check each individual one, and there'll be a lot of hassle for them.
Yeah. I've seen some of the guys that have done some miraculous things. One guy's even got a kit out there for this to automatically start, so you could have an automatic changeover.
Yeah.
I'm not that interested in it because this is just for chuckles for me, and I don't mind to come out here and do the changeover the startup and the changeover manually.
Yeah, like you, I'd rather do it myself and depend on a piece of equipment to do it.
Yeah, and if you're away from the house, it'll probably want to start up and run itself when you don't really need it. So.
Yeah, you may run stuff out of oil or fuel. And
yeah. Now, it can't run out of oil. It does have a little pressure switch on the oil, which is why when I cranked it, you heard me crank it, and I left the cranking going until it took off, in spite of all the smoke and such, because if you let it go a little too quick, the low oil will shut her down.
my welder was like that. They had a bypass switch until it got up to, I think, above 30 pounds up. If you didn't have a bypass switch on, it'd kill it. That, and if it would try to overheat, it would shut itself off. If it dropped oil pressure or overheat.
Yeah, this is a bypass switch. It's built into the start button, so it's all part of it. It has panel lights, but I've never really needed them, so
Yeah.
I keep them running. But and I was saying during the running, this is to jump it off the deuce and a half. But as we tried over there, the deuce and a half, I haven't opened it in a year or so.
That's something you don't always use.
No. I try to keep good fresh batteries in everything I've got, golf cart, this stuff, and the vehicles.
That's the main thing with diesels, I believe. If you have a good set of batteries, she'll start.
Yeah.
I like the glow plug system better. Where it heats it up, they fire better.
Well, what this does when you heat it, as I understand it, I haven't paid too much attention. It's got what's called a manifold heater, and then it's got individual glow plugs. Let's see if I can get that down here.
For each cylinder.
Yeah, here's the manifold heater. These two spark plugs. They heat up the air in here, which is then drawn into the cylinders. And then, of course, each cylinder has its own glow plug, which is this number.
Part number.
Yeah. And I went ahead and checked them all. They were all igniting fine. I put them back in, and I'm still getting a problem back here. So I think the diesel is draining out of one of these lines, injector lines. I had to put on a new mechanism here. This turns the engine off. And that wasn't working right, so. And that's about it for here.
Is it air cooled or water cooled?
Air cooled, which is why it is so noisy. It's just the air fan goes by a big oil cooler there.
Yeah.
Then each cylinder, you can see the fins in there for each cylinder cooling. And then on the other side, there's fins open up as it gets hot. And I've had it in the summer when it's doing a lot of work. It will open up those fins and let full airflow go through. Right now, those fins are closed, and the air won't flow much, but it wants to heat the engine up quickly, so that's why it does that.
That's good. It does on my welder didn't do that. You had to do it. It said below a certain degrees, above a certain degrees, you had to flip it by hand manually.
Yeah.
But it helped. It helped it out.
And then this is for hot environment or cold environment, but I've been told just leave it on hot year round. We don't get in the cold that they worry about. They did something kind of neat here. Oil change. You just turn that a quarter turn, have a bucket underneath the trailer, and you're done.
Wow. So this is plus there.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier.
Maybe next summer I'll get all this stuff cleaned up again and maybe even put some paint on some of it. But right now, no.
Yeah, too late. Need a season now to do it.
I want to remotely put this oil pressure gauge too. It's got great oil pressure when it's running hot, so it's no real worry. But I want to go ahead and remount that up where I can see
Yeah,
it.
with the controls.
And that's just about it.
Yeah. Good little generator. Well, thank you, Doug.
Well, thank you. Appreciate both of you coming and spending Thanksgiving Day with me. This has been a blast.
Yeah.
It's good to have the company.
Yeah. When we get a chance, we bring your trailer down. We try them tires out.
Yeah, that should be
I got them
maybe
trees.
next week or so.
All right. We got the trees and stuff out of the way, so we can see if we bolt up.
Okay.
We can use the impact in there. They're at the house, so it should be easy.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm thinking they will fit. If it don't, we'll go to plan B.
That's all we have to do.
If it don't work, we'll go to plan C. Then so forth and so forth. But anyway, folks, that's pretty much it for now. So hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving and a safe one. And everybody take care. We appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate our subscribers and all the great comments and thumbs up. So from all of us to all y'all, happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. God bless. We'll catch you next time. This Thanksgiving, Carrie came over and took some time to videotape my old Deuce and a Half truck. It's named Loud and Proud, and it is very proud of the service it did for the country as a troop hauling machine for all those years. The truck's also fleet numbered for A Company, 2nd of the 12th Cav, 1st Air Cavalry Division in Vietnam. That company, A Company, was known as Ace High. It lost 117 men in the many years of the war in Vietnam. And we miss those men and honor them at this Thanksgiving time for the sacrifice that they gave this country.